Okay, so I would like to talk about intelligent content and content strategy and how you can drive your customer experience strategy with this forward. And this is me. My name is Stefan Gentz, and I'm the Adobe Worldwide Technical Communication Evangelist. And evangelist is always a little bit funny, sometimes unusual to people, but that's how it is. And you can connect with me on LinkedIn, Stefan Gentz, or follow me on Twitter if you would be on Twitter, or just send me a classic email to gntz@adobe.com. So if you have any ideas during the day or any questions, especially regarding our products or so, just drop me an email, and I will be happy to get into contact with you and answer your questions. Okay. At Adobe, we have a CEO, and his name is Shantanu Narayan, and he recently said at Adobe Max, people buy experiences, not products. So the time when people just buy a product is coming to an end because they buy an experience. But what is that, an experience? So it starts with the first contact with the brand and ends much later after they have already bought the product. And that's where we come into the game later on. So technical communication is a big part of that. And when we look into customer experience, I looked it up on Wikipedia, and Wikipedia has this nice sentence. In commerce, customer experience, CX, is the product of an interaction between an organization and a customer over the duration of their relationship. Do you think about that about your marriage as well? Maybe we should see our marriage as an experience program or a customer experience, maybe? No. Okay, anyway. But it basically means that it's not just about the product, but it's about the whole journey that we as a customer make when interacting with an organization, a company, or a brand in general. So it's a little bit small. Someone in Amsterdam last week told me I have to change that slide because it's difficult to read. So please excuse, but I didn't have time to do that yet. It shows a little bit the parts of the customer experience blocks. So on the left hand here we have the customer journey, and it starts with the first contact. That means the first time you, as a customer, make contact with that brand. So that can be in advertising in TV, that can be in radio, that can be maybe a poster in the street, at the bus stop, or at the airport, or whatever. And then I found, as a customer, I find that somehow interesting, it wakes my interest, and then I go into an investigation phase. So I start researching about that brand. Maybe I go on the website of the company, or I go on their Facebook. Is anyone on Facebook here? Oh, more, okay. Maybe I go also on Twitter, and maybe I go on, maybe I even call their call center to get some information, or write an email to their Adobe TCS or techcom@adobe.com email account, for example. Or I research by asking colleagues and friends, family members about their experience with that brand. And if that experience is positive and if I get good feedback, I go into the decision phase. And make a buying decision. And when I make that buying decision, I make also an experience when buying the product. So is buying the product an easy process? Is shipping the product to my home an easy process? Or is buying the product in the shop a good experience? And then I make a user experience with that product. So I'm using that product. Am I happy with that product? Does it work well? Does it not work well? And in the end, if it doesn't work well, I might need support. So I make some support experience. And we all know that many companies struggle at this last point at the latest, when we call some support center or so, and it takes an hour until we get someone on the phone, and then it's not the right person. That person cannot help us. We get reconnected to some other person. We have to tell our story again. We all know this kind of support experience with telecommunication companies, IT companies, whatever. And so we have that support experience. And all these kind of experiences form how we experience this company or this brand. When we look a little bit more into the details, where are our touch points with the brand? So of course we have offline touch points. So for example, on-site customer care, advertising and marketing, the packaging of the product, which is also an interesting thing for companies to look at. When you go to YouTube, is anyone on YouTube? Yeah, one person. Okay, a few more. On YouTube, you have that possibility. That makes me nervous. For example, on YouTube, there are a lot of unboxing videos. As you see that for the iPhone or stuff like that. So people get the package from the postal guy, and then they unpack it, unbox it, and they make a video out of that. Yeah. And if it's a nice packaging and a good experience, and it's easy to open and nicely packed and so, and it's a good haptical experience, then people love it and they make a nice video about it, or they maybe even destroy it on YouTube and say, what a bad product. I cannot even open the package properly. It's sealed so hard with such hard plastic and I need a scissor to open it and so. So this kind of experience with the product is there as well. And that's an offline touch point with the brand. And then of course we have the product and service features and the ease of use and reliability. So that's the real use of the product. What kind of experience do I make with that product? And then we have a lot of digital touch points. So for example, search engines. Do I find something about that product? And is it easy to find that product? So that's a lot about, for companies, that's a lot about SEO, search engine optimization. Then we have online campaigns, like a marketing campaign. For example, with Adobe Marketing Cloud and Adobe Campaign, you can organize and run these campaigns. Then we have social media like Twitter, Facebook, Google, LinkedIn, and so on. And being present on social media is quite important for a brand, because a lot of people are on social media, a lot of people are on Twitter, maybe not in Denmark, but I really have it now. People go to these pages. For example, on Facebook, we have the Adobe Technical Communication Facebook page there with something like, I don't know, 8,000 or 6,000 followers or something. And that's a lot of people are interacting with us there. They send us questions in the chat. They ask about our new releases. They go there to look up what we are doing and so on. Then, of course, big part is the corporate marketing website, where people go and look up for the content. And then we have corporate customer care website and help centers, and things like communities, so user-to-user forums and so on. And all of these are touch points where the customer gets into contact with us. Not with us as Adobe, but as a brand and as a company in general. And the experience that a customer makes throughout all these touch points, the marketing, the packaging, product services and features, the product itself, then his online experience, and so they form the summary of the customer experience, and that can be positive or negative. So the question in the end is, what is the result of it? As a customer, do I have what we call buyer's remorse? Do I regret that I have bought that product? We have that sometimes. We all know that. That we bought something, we had big expectations into the product, and then it didn't work, or the customer support was bad, or whatever. And we make a bad experience with the company, and then we say, I will not buy that again. Yeah? Or we even tell our friends, don't buy it, it's a bad product. It doesn't work. Yeah? Or if all these experiences were positive, I get into brand loyalty, and I tell other people about my positive experience with this brand and tell them, hey, it's so great and their customer support is great and it was shipped very fast and it's easy to use. I can highly recommend that. And if you go to, for example, Amazon.com and look at the customer reviews there, you have a wonderful abstract of and summary of customer experiences. So all these reviews are customer experience summaries, so to say, where the customer tells a story about his experience or her experience with that brand and with that product. So today, customers expect to experience a consistent and satisfying brand experience throughout all these touch points: marketing, shopping, support, community. And this experience should be the same. It should be always the same experience. It should be a consistent brand experience for the customer if you want to drive a successful customer strategy. So when companies want to do that and want to create a consistent customer experience, they face a lot of challenges. So we have, for example, many touch points. Multiple touch points have a cumulative impact on the customer experience. So it all comes together, all these touch points. We have inconsistent content experiences that create a fuzzy brand experience. So maybe the marketing makes a great video, makes a great campaign, but then the customer goes to the support website and it looks like 1980. So that can create a very fuzzy brand experience. Then marketing and technical communication, they all live today still in content silos and are disconnected content worlds. And when you look at your online support center or something, it's often in a very different design than the marketing website, for example. And then there are a lot of IT challenges. So the CIO, CSO, CMOs, and so they struggle with a very cluttered IT ecosystem in their company. So they have a content management system for the website, they have a content management system for technical documentation, they have a marketing campaign solution, they have a customer management solution, and so on. And all these things are very cluttered, and the CIOs come, for example, to Adobe and say, we're stuck there. We cannot really run our content strategy as we would like to do it, because we have all these systems and they are not connected with each other, and we cannot exchange data between the systems and create stories, and they're struggling with that. And implementing a holistic content strategy fails very often on just simple technical challenges. So I was talking to Rahel Bailey, a content strategist from the UK, from Scroll, and she said they had developed with the company a wonderful content strategy over all these touch points and the whole customer journey. And then they presented that to the CIO and CMO, and this both said, we cannot do that. It's a nice idea, but we cannot do that because we have this system, and we cannot transfer the data from this system to that system. So we cannot make that holistic customer journey really a technical journey as well in our system. We cannot implement that this way. And then these are challenges that companies face today. So Adobe's approach for unified customer experience is that we want to connect all these different blocks that we have in the customer journey today. So we want to give the organizations who strive for an end-to-end solution the platform that they need with the customer experience and cloud platforms that we have. So we can help companies to drive that with their marketing website, with Adobe Experience Manager. They can run their campaign management, online marketing with Adobe Campaign. They can go deep into analytics, how customers are using the content that the company produces, from marketing content to technical content, with deep analytics, with Adobe Analytics. And they can run the whole customer care and support portal on our solutions. And today, Adobe has a really complete end-to-end solution for all these things. And I want today focus a little bit more on customer care and support, because that's what we are dealing here with, usually as technical communicators. And I found this nice quote from James Matthewson. He's the head of search strategies for IBM.com. And he said, 75% of business-to-business customers refer to post-sale documentation as part of their purchase decision-making cycle. What does that mean? A company like IBM that is primarily having highly technical products, highly technical solutions, software solutions and hardware solutions. He said, in addition to that, yeah, the IT manager in the company, or the CIO who is coming to our website, to research about the product. This IT manager is not buying our product because of that fancy marketing video that we did in our marketing department. The IT manager goes to the technical documentation, pulls it out, the maintenance manual, the quick install guide and stuff like that, and then they look if that product is fit for use in their company, and then they make that buying decision. And they researched that 75% of these buying decisions are made on their post-sales content. And that's technical content, that's technical documentation. The IT managers go to the support center of IBM more often than they go on the product marketing website. And that's something we, as technical communicators, have to think about. Because then suddenly our content that we as technical communicators produce becomes a sales asset. It becomes part of the marketing strategy of a company, and IBM is doing exactly that. They focus a lot more now on their technical content because they know that's the content that their customers want to look at and to make their buying decision. And that's something very interesting. And IBM heavily focuses on DIDA. IBM was one of the inventors, or the inventor of DIDA. And today in IBM's Help Center, there are 60 million DIDA topics with technical content. So that's a huge amount of technical content. And they're constantly working on it to improve it so that customers can find the content more easy, installation guides, support guides, and so on, technical documentation, to improve that, to make it, to use it better as a sales asset in their customer strategy. To rephrase that quote a little bit, I call it like that: technical communication is marketing communication. It's a hidden sales champion. And many companies are still not aware of that. It's something we should really look at. So technical communication and customer support have a substantial post-sales impact on brand loyalty and the willingness for long-term reinvestments. That means that when I'm, as a customer, when I make that contact with the content of that brand, the technical content, for example, when I download the technical documentation, and I will show you a nice example from GoPro in a couple of minutes, I have a good or a positive experience with that company. So when marketing and technical communication live in disconnected content worlds, and I will show you an example of how disconnected that can be and how you can solve it, it creates a fuzzy and maybe even negative brand experience. Let me give you an example. This is the website of CyberSource. They make online payment and fraud solutions to secure digital transactions. And they have a nice marketing website. It looks good. It has some nice visuals, the logo. It's very clearly structured with solutions, product, developers, and support. Learn. There's a phone number given on top. You can change the language. It's a multi-language website. There's a nice slider where you can go through different solutions that they have. And the support is very prominent there on top. So that's a typical marketing website from, like we know it from many companies. But how does the support center look like? That great support center. Yeah? So that's a completely different look and feel. That's a completely different experience you make as a customer. And that's not a positive experience. That's like 1980 or 1990 maybe. Yeah? So that's when I, as a customer, want to research there something now, I just don't have fun. I don't even want to look at that anymore. Yeah? Because it's not responsive. It's not nice typography. There are no graphics. I'm used to icons today to identify content blocks more easy and stuff like that. Search function is there, but it's probably not working very well. So, of course, CyberSource noticed that, and they were aware of it, and they said, yeah, okay, we understand that this is not the best customer experience for technical documentation that we can offer to our customers. And they wanted to change that, and they did, and today their help center looks like this. And that's a completely different look and feel. It's a different voice and tone in the wording. They have nice icons there to help you to identify the topic more easy. It's all organized in topics today, in DIDA topics. And it's all organized in Adobe Experience Manager and managed from there. And support and technical documentation content is sitting on the same platform, and they organize their technical content there as well. It's based on Adobe Experience Manager. You have this big search for answers search bar there, very prominent on top. You can sign in and create your own account as a customer, and then bookmark content that you want to look up regularly and stuff like that. So it's a much more nicer and cleaner and more positive experience than this one. Yeah? And this kind of help or support or documentation, we still see that a lot around. And if companies are doing that, they're just providing a bad customer experience today, which is completely disconnected from marketing, different style, different look and feel, different organization of content, and that's just not positive, and something like this is, of course, much nicer. So corporations need to leverage the power of their technical content for marketing and sales, and to do so, they need to get their content out of these classic silos and manage them on one platform. So it does make sense if you have your content locked away in a binary format. Does make sense, sorry, if you lock it away in some very specialized technical communication document system or in a content management system which is not connected to the other parts of the company. What companies want to do today is they want to bring it on one platform. So when corporations want to leverage the power of their technical content for marketing and sales, they need intelligent content, break down these silos, and manage them on one platform. Intelligent content? What is intelligent content? Have you ever heard this phrase before? Intelligent content? In the US, there's even a big conference. It's called Intelligent Content World. So it's a big thing. And when we, here in Europe, we talk about Industry 4.0, and they talk more about Internet of Things. But all this goes back to intelligent content in the background as well. So we have unstructured content versus intelligent content. And unstructured content, there the content is basically just text, and it's not semantically marked up. I will give an example for that in the next slide. We have, it's not technically consumable, it has not an inherent structure. There are no specific characteristics defined. It's difficult to extract the content for search engines. It's difficult to program something that can parse that content in a proper way and get the right information out and deliver it to different channels. And it's very inefficient content reuse, especially in technical documentation, we reuse content a lot. And an example for that are, for example, notes taken in a Microsoft Word document or a classic technical documentation in Microsoft Word. That's unstructured content. And that's the past. And today we talk about intelligent content. Intelligent content means we have rules governing the content, like a schema or a DTD. We define characteristics and properties of content. And it offers insights into the content consumption, so we can track and analyze very easy how the customer is interacting with our content. It makes the content much more easily searchable. We can even use it for chatbots maybe later. We have efficient content reuse capabilities, like in DIDA with the content references. We have easy to publish content across multiple formats, so we can deliver our content to much more channels with intelligent content than we can with unstructured content. In unstructured content, like a Microsoft Word document, the maximum we can do is publish it as a PDF. That's it. Yeah? And with intelligent content, XML-based, DIDA-based, and so we can publish it to many, many channels, like apps. We can publish it to a website, a support portal. We can publish it to maybe even the head-up display of a car. And an example for that is in this next slide, just to give a rough idea about it. So what we have here on the left, unstructured content. This is HTML on the left side. We have an unsorted list with several list items, with Mary Jane and the postal address, the city, and the state, and the country, and the phone number. but no system can properly identify the elements of this. Is Mary Jane, is that the first name? Yeah, and Pennsylvania, is that a state? And United States, we as human beings, we can do that very easy. But a machine, a system, cannot easily do that, especially as it's an unsorted list and the items can be in any kind of order. So it's very difficult for a system to break down that content and analyze it. And when we put that into XML, in something like an address block here, and there we have an explicit semantic name, like first name is Mary, last name is Jane, street is this one, state is Pennsylvania, country is United States, and mobile phone number is this one. So any system can easily look into this XML and identify what is what in this block of content and pull out the right information that we want to have. And for this, we need this semantic addressing of content, semantic markup. This is another example that's a little bit geeky techy when you look at it now, but it's not very complicated. This is a hazard statement coming from DIDA. Do you know what DIDA is? Who knows what DIDA is? A little bit, okay. It's the Darwin Information Typing Architecture. It's an XML standard that IBM invented. Today it's an OASIS standard, and it's maintained by the OASIS Technical Committee. We have one person here in the room, Young, who is member of the Technical Committee of DIDA. And they maintain that standard, and there are long review processes and so on. So it's a very mature standard that is supported today by a lot of software solutions, including translation tools and so on. So in that hazard statement, that explicitly marks up the content that we have here as a hazard statement. There's an ID that makes it unique identifiable. There's, for example, an importance attribute with the value high. There's a translate attribute with the value yes. So if a translation system like Trados or Across or so, if they are reading that content in, they look for the translate yes attribute and expose the text strings to the translator. If it would be no, Trados would skip it. So we can use this kind of markup to influence other systems. And in the hazard statement, there are 3 message panels. And one message panel has the platform attribute, and in this case, it's, for example, car display, and the audience, driver. And the type of hazard is slow down, and the how to avoid message is slow down to 100 kilometers per hour maximum to avoid accidents. And in the second message panel, the platform is this time not the car display, but the GPS bike computer, and the audience, cyclist. Type of hazard, same like this one, slow down. But how to avoid message is slightly different. Slow down to 100 kilometers, and now we have slow down to 30 kilometers maximum to avoid penalties. And the last message panel has platform smartwatch, audience runner. That's something that might appear on your Garmin or Apple Watch or whatever. Type of hazard is slow down again, and how to avoid message is this time slow down to 10 kilometers per hour maximum to avoid health problems. So what we as a technical communicator can do here, and this is really powerful, we can maintain 3 different output channels where we want to deliver our content to 3 in just one hazard statement. And by using the platform and the audience attribute, we can explicitly use that to filter the content and push it out to different channels. In the first example, we push that message out into the head-up display to the car. And the second one to a small GPS bike computer, who is in front of your bike. And the third one, we can push that to my Apple Watch. So we have this possibility today, but we only have it if we work in such a way with intelligent content and XML and attribution of content and semantic markup of the content. Let me skip that one. So are we ready for that? Let me give you some insights from the Adobe Worldwide Technical Communication Survey 2018. Did any one of you participate in that survey? No. Okay. Cybel? No one here in the room was participating in the TechCom survey. You were. Okay. Yeah. It was a big worldwide survey where we that you could fill out online, and you could win a lot of nice prizes. So watch out for our next survey end of this year or starting next year. We do that annually. to get a better idea of where the technical documentation and communication industry is standing. What is the status of it? And this year we got interesting results. 50% of the participants already do structured authoring. 44% are already doing DIDA. And 31% are planning to migrate or move to DIDA as their preferred XML language for maintaining their technical content. So we can definitely say that when 50% of, at least from this survey group, are already doing structured content, we have reached a tipping point now. So we have definitely come into an age where structured content is created more than unstructured content today. And the majority of companies is moving into that. So some examples for structured content, or some advantages that it gives you. You have a higher content velocity. That means you can publish faster. You have a consistent user experience because you can separate formatting from the content itself and publish it in different styles to different channels. You have a simplified authoring experience because you have fast and easy to use web-based authoring solutions available today, where you can easily implement subject matter experts or reviewers or translators or so into your workflow by just giving them access to your online content management system, Adobe Experience Manager, where they can just log in and review and make their comments and so. You have migration to structured authoring. So converting your legacy content is often much more easy than companies think and are afraid of. And with Adobe, we have one Adobe solution where all this is coming together in our content management system in Adobe Experience Manager. So what we want to, or the solution, what we want to do is blending marketing and technical communication and help you with that. So let me give you an example from the GoPro marketing website. I guess you all know GoPro. Yeah, cool company, makes wonderful, nice, sporty cameras for active people, very small, with really good video quality. And you see a lot of videos on YouTube from active people who are jumping down from a tower with their parachute or stuff like that, or skiing down the hills and stuff like that. And it's a cool product, and they have good marketing and great community work and so on. And the website looks also very nice. So there's the nature, there's a young person in the picture. The product is big in the foreground, capture different. Yeah, see life from a new perspective. That's marketing. Yeah? It looks good and nice, and you can connect to that. But let's look at their technical content. And this is the quick getting started guide that they offer their customers for download. It's a PDF double-facing page on one PDF page. Yeah? And they have their majority of their customers are people between 18 and 30. And they are only on mobile. Yeah? They want to access that content on their mobile device, on their iPhone or Samsung or whatever. They don't want to have a double-facing PDF page on their iPhone. That doesn't make sense. And that creates a negative brand experience for their customers. So, of course, they understand that. What they could do is get the same content from the Getting Started guide in FrameMaker and author it in DIDA and explicitly mark up the content. In this example here, we have the task. Yeah, root element is a task. Then we have a title element, insert the battery, short description element. In this topic, you learn how to insert the battery. Then a task body with the steps, and the steps group has several step and commands, like hold down the latch release, slide the battery door open, and so on. And in the end, there's a result. The battery is replaced now, and you can turn on your device. That's how it looks in FrameMaker. It's not designed yet, it's just the pure content. But there's this underlying XML structure. That's how it looks in FrameMaker in the source code view of that content. And you have that again here. There's the task, uniquely identifiable with a unique ID. There's the title element, the short description element, the task body with the steps and commands, and there it ends. So that's the same content. You see there's no formatting or anything included in that. It's just the pure content semantically marked up. And this way we can deliver it to all kinds of channels. For example, GoPro could build that online support portal and then publish it. And they could, when they manage it on the Adobe Experience Manager, they can use the same assets like the marketing is doing. For example, for this product, there's this main visual with this lady here in front of that waterfall. And they could just pull the same image onto their support portal, pull out the getting started title of the guide, charging the battery as the subtitle, and they just drag and drop it from the content management system onto that website. And then they have getting started, and then the steps with an additional image there, and so on. So that's they could build that help page header and some help page content and publish it to their website, which is then, of course, responsive HTML5 and works on a mobile device much better than a double-facing PDF. Yeah. But that's not enough. Yeah, I know. Yeah. But I have a lot to tell. But they could also blend it with marketing content. So for example, when the company says, OK, we have that GoPro Hero 5, but now we have the GoPro Hero 6, or brand new now, a couple of days ago, the GoPro Hero 7, they could place marketing content next to it. And because we exactly know what kind of content we have there, with this, for example, just for this simple task of charging the battery, this is for the product GoPro Hero 5. We know that from the XML semantic markup that you as a technical writer has entered there. So they could place fitting marketing content right next to that. So when a customer comes to that support website and want to learn about how to recharge the battery or change the battery, they could place marketing content for the next generation of their camera, which has a longer battery life. Or they could place a link where a customer can directly order a replacement battery. So that makes it much more easy for the customer to get in-context information that fits to what he is doing in the technical documentation as well. Or they could link in the user community forum where people are discussing battery problems in the GoPro Hero 5. And connect these worlds, communities with the technical documentation, products with the technical documentation, accessories that might be helpful for the customer. Maybe he wants to buy 2 additional battery packs and so on. So blending this technical documentation and the marketing documentation together makes a lot of sense for a company like GoPro. Yeah? Help page, content based on DITA managed in AEM, marketing content maybe based on DITA, also managed in Adobe Experience Manager, and then blending that together on one website. So by using DITA-based intelligent content, enriched with metadata and attribution, companies can blend marketing and technical content seamlessly together and create a unified customer experience. They can author DITA in Adobe FrameMaker or XML documentation for Adobe Experience Manager in the online editor, and they can manage and publish both on the AEM platform. This is the basic structure of it in AEM. So they have that AEM container here, AEM assets. They manage their marketing content there. They manage their technical documentation content there. And by just dragging and dropping to a website template, they can say, OK, this marketing content goes here, this technical content goes here, this one goes there, and this one goes there, and this one goes there. And this marketing content, I place that at the footer. And they can create a mobile and responsive website and just blend everything together. This is what XML documentation can do. You have the authoring. You can have FrameMaker as an XML editor or other editors like Oxygen. And you have review, search, content management, content reuse. And in AEM, you can do publishing, translation, management. You get extensive reports about your content. You have a full review and approval cycle. Can search through your whole content. You have a DITA web editor. So it's a complete DITA CCMS. And you can have a lot of collaboration possibilities, authors, reviewers, approvers, system admins, content contributors, subject matter experts. You can define multiple roles, how people can contribute content, and you as a tech technical communicator who is a little bit deeper into these things then can rewrite what they deliver you, and you can send it to a reviewer and to approver and translation processes and so on. Let me skip that. Yeah, okay. So again, DITA World. We talk about these solutions a lot at DITA World, and Palo Alto Networks and Mitel and BlackBerry, they are sharing their experience, how they implemented these ideas into their marketing and support portals, and brought that together. And they will share their practical experiences and how it drives their help support center. Palo Alto Networks, for example, has a great story with that. They increased the usage of their help support portal a lot, and today they have 1 million users using that every month. And that's, of course, shows how successful they are with implementing such a solution and putting all their technical content onto the same platform like their marketing content, and leveraging it together and analyzing it together, and having the possibility to analyze the customer journey throughout the website from support to sales and so on. So there's a lot of stories about that. So register and for free, and join us on October 10 to 12 for these sessions. Okay, thank you. I know that was a lot of stuff now. Any comments or questions or ideas? How are you publishing your technical content? PDF only? Yeah. Anyone publishing the technical communication content to a web help support portal or something like that? You doing that? Okay. Anyone else? Okay. So your customers have to work with PDF only. Okay. Think about it. Let it sink. Maybe you can offer additional channels to your customers. And it must not even, does not even have to be a big solution like Adobe Experience Manager. Even if you go just for FrameMaker, for example, and have your content in FrameMaker, you can publish to multiple output channels. You can publish to responsive HTML5 website, Microsoft CHM. You can publish to Kindle, to EPUB, Amazon Kindle. You can publish to mobile apps for iOS and Android. So, and that's all out of the box. With your, you can just use that for free. And maybe you can just give additional channels and different possibilities to your customers, how they can consume the content that you create. If you just offer PDF, you're limiting the possibilities of your customers. If you're publishing to all kinds of channels, apps, PDFs, website, and so on, then you give your customer the possibility to decide on his own or her own how they want to consume the content, where they want to consume it. Maybe they want to read it on their mobile phone when they are lying in bed and have some time to read through it or so. Maybe not the best night lecture, but let the customer decide, give them the freedom to decide how they want to consume your content. Okay, thank you. Yeah.
How is Adobe these days on, you mentioned information 4.0 and all this stuff, data. How is Adobe right now in this world on micro content?
Yeah.
What are your views on that? Because it's sort of emerging at the moment.
Yeah.
So where are you?
What we do with DITA, or what you can do, you don't have to do it, but you can do it with DITA, create content snippets. Yeah, like really micro content. It can be just one sentence, one small warning message, like in the hazard statement that I showed. That's micro content. It's just one sentence. Could be even just one word, and you can reference all that kind of content because it's semantically marked up, and you reuse it everywhere else. So this was completely integrated, this idea, in AEM and in FrameMaker. We have also, I was part of the IIRDS working group from the German Comm, where we developed that IIRDS standard, Intelligent Information Request and Delivery Service. And we can publish to IIRDS from Adobe Experience Manager and create these IIRDS containers. And I showed that at the TCOM last year or the year before, together with a company from Germany. And they had created a cool scenario. There's a machine in the park, in the machine park, and it's throwing out an error code. And the service engineer is with his tablet in the cafeteria having lunch, and suddenly this machine has this problem. And now he's sitting with his SmartPad, it was a Windows tablet in this case, sitting there in the cafeteria having lunch. It makes ping, and he gets that error code. He taps on it, and he immediately gets the information what is wrong with the machine. And the technical documentation is displayed inline inside there with the tasks that the technical communicator has created in DIDA. And it says step 1, step 2, step 3, this is what you have to do to fix that problem. And while he's still having lunch, he can read that. And he doesn't have to look through a long manual or something and find the information. He gets it right connected to that error message by tapping on it, and then he can slide through the step list. And when he's done with lunch, he can grab his SmartPad, go to the stock replacement part stock, can pick out the part that he needs to replace, go to the machine, and when he arrives at the machine, he already has the part that he needs, and he knows how to replace it. And that makes it so much more comfortable for the service engineer, for example. So there are a lot of scenarios. We'll see another service scenario from Uli later on, and his colleague, about augmented reality and how you can combine DIDA and augmented reality for a service engineer. And that's amazing stuff. I've seen that last week in Amsterdam, what they did, and it's really cool. So, and this is all possible only with micro content, because you have these small content snippets organized and managed and semantically marked up.